Good evening and welcome everyone to the 2024 presidential election night between the incumbent President Joe Biden facing off the former President Donald Trump. Taking a look at the preferred candidate for president, incumbent President Joe Biden is slightly more preferred to be president over Donald Trump with 17% undecided. Now here is the approval rating of Joe Biden. He is underwater at a net negative 7%. Joe Biden is disapproved of by 51% and he's only approved of by 44%. Meaning, on the other hand, Donald Trump is also disapproved of, just like Joe Biden, disapproved of by 54%, and Donald Trump is approved of by just only 41%. Now we have Georgia polling. Joe Biden is slightly favored to win in Georgia. We have polling out of the state of Arizona. Joe Biden is also expected to win in this state. And polls in Wisconsin suggest Joe Biden is also projected to win in this state as well. We have our first batch of poll closing 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time from these states. Kentucky, polls have now closed in this state. Donald Trump takes its 8 electoral votes. Donald Trump is a projected winner in the state of Indiana, 11 electoral votes. Donald Trump will win South Carolina, 9 electoral votes added to Trump's column. Polls have now closed in Vermont, and Joe Biden will take Vermont 3 electoral votes. And now, an update on the key battleground state of Georgia. Too early to call, 12% in. Joe Biden is in the lead, but keep in mind, too early to call. We can now make a projection of the state of Virginia. Incumbent President Joe Biden will win Virginia with its 13 electoral votes. Joe Biden will win the state of Virginia by around 7 percentage points, 53.7 to Donald Trump's 46.3. We have our 7:30 p.m. poll closings from just these 3 states. West Virginia, 4 electoral votes will be going to Donald Trump. And an update on the swing state of North Carolina. Too early to call, 23% in. Joe Biden holds a lead. Keep in mind, too early to call. We have a projection out of the state of Ohio. Donald Trump will take Ohio's 17 electoral votes. And now here's an update on the race to 270. 49 electoral votes for Trump, 16 for Joe Biden at the moment. We have our 8 o'clock p.m. poll closings from the states Eastern Time. Oklahoma, 7 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. No surprise here out of the state of Tennessee. Solid Republican state. Trump takes its 11 electoral votes. Safe red state Mississippi, 6 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. No surprise out of the state of Alabama. 9 electoral votes going to Donald Trump's column. Polls have now closed in Missouri. 10 electoral votes will be going to Donald Trump. And let's go back to Georgia. Another update on this swing state. Too early to call. 28% in. Joe Biden remains in the lead. We now have a major projection from the key battleground state of Florida. Donald Trump takes Florida's 30 electoral votes. This was a must-win for Donald Trump, and he will win it in the 3rd straight election in a row. Donald Trump will win the state of Florida by 52% to Joe Biden's 48%. And now Donald Trump will win on Maine's 2nd congressional district. Now polls have now closed in the District of Columbia. Incumbent President Joe Biden will take District of Columbia's 3 electoral votes. Joe Biden will win in Massachusetts, 11 electoral votes, and no surprise here. Safe Democratic state out of the state of Illinois, solid blue state, 19 electoral votes going to Joe Biden's column. And now another update on the battleground state of North Carolina. Remains too early to call, 41% in. Joe Biden holds a lead, but it is narrowing. He's only up by 3% now. And now Maryland, 10 electoral votes going to Joe Biden. Out of the state of Delaware, 3 electoral votes, safe Democratic state, no surprise here. Out of the state of New Jersey, 14 electoral votes going to Joe Biden, as well as Connecticut, 7 electoral votes, no surprise here, going to Joe Biden. Joe Biden will win Rhode Island's 4 electoral votes, as well as Maine's 3 out of the 4 electoral votes, while Donald Trump does get that 1 second congressional district. And an update from the Rust Belt battleground state of Pennsylvania. Too early to call, 44% in. Donald Trump has a lead, but a lot of these counties that are expected to go in favor of Joe Biden have not been called yet. Too early to call. And another update on New Hampshire. Too close to call, 48% in. Joe Biden is in the lead at the moment. We cannot make a projection just yet. And now another update on the race to 270. 123 electoral votes for Donald Trump, and Joe Biden is trailing at 90. We have our 8:30 p.m. poll closing from just 1 state. No surprise here, Arkansas. 6 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the winner. And another update on Georgia. Too early to call. 47% of the estimated voters in. Joe Biden holds on to his lead. And another update on the battleground state of North Carolina, a must-win for Donald Trump. Let's see if he can win it for his third election in a row. He did it last time. Let's see if he can do it again. Too close to call. 54% in. Donald Trump has his first lead in North Carolina for the first time tonight, slightly leading by a little bit under 1%. And another update on the map to 270, 129 electoral votes for Trump and just 90 for Joe Biden. We have our 9 o'clock p.m. poll closings from the biggest batch of states tonight. South Dakota, 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump is a projected winner. Donald Trump will win Wyoming's 3 electoral votes. No surprise here for the state of North Dakota. 3 electoral votes will be going to Donald Trump's column, as well as Louisiana's 8 electoral votes. Donald Trump wins in that state. Donald Trump will take Nebraska's 4 out of the 5 electoral votes, while Joe Biden doesn't get that 1 district in Nebraska. Another update on the Georgia. Remains too close to call. 59% of the estimated vote is in. It is currently a dead tie at 46.5%. Kansas, 6 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the winner in this state. Polls have now closed in the state of New York. Joe Biden takes its 28 electoral votes. No surprise here. We have a major projection from the battleground state, North Carolina's 16 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner in the state. He will win North Carolina for the 3rd straight election in a row. Donald Trump will win North Carolina by a little bit under 2%, 1.8% to be exact, with 82% of the estimated vote in. 50.9% for Trump. Joe Biden is at 49.1%. Donald Trump will win North Carolina. Incumbent President Joe Biden is a projected winner in the state of Colorado. He will take its 10 electoral votes. We now can project New Hampshire is going to go to Joe Biden. It remains in Democratic control. 4 electoral votes will be going to Joe Biden. Joe Biden will win New Hampshire. 51.8% to Donald Trump's 48.2%. 92% of the estimated vote is in. We now can call New Hampshire for Joe Biden. Another update on the Sun Belt battleground state of Texas. 65% of the estimated vote is in. Joe Biden is currently in the lead, but a lot of these counties that are expected to go in heavy favor of Donald Trump have not been called yet, so he cannot call Texas at the moment. Democrats tried to flip the state in 2020. They failed to do so. Let's see if they can do it in 2024. We now can call New Mexico's race for Joe Biden. He takes its 5 electoral votes. And another update on Arizona. 66% of the estimated vote is in. Joe Biden holds a lead, but keep in mind, too early call. We now can call the state of Minnesota. Incumbent President Joe Biden will win Minnesota for his 2nd time in a row. He takes Minnesota's 10 electoral votes. Joe Biden will win Minnesota by 5 percentage points. 88% in. 52.3 for Biden, 47.7 for Donald Trump. Joe Biden will win Minnesota. And an update on the Rust Belt state of Wisconsin. 48% of the estimated vote is in. Donald Trump does hold a lead at the moment, but keep in mind, too early call. And another update on the Rust Belt state of Michigan. Too close to call. 70% of the estimated vote is in. Donald Trump holds a lead of 2%. Too close to call. We cannot yet make a projection in Michigan. And another update on the map to 270. Joe Biden is catching on, but Trump still remains in the lead slightly. 173 electoral votes for Donald Trump, and Joe Biden is currently at 147. This is a close race at the moment. We now, however, a 10 o'clock p.m. poll closing from these 4 states. Utah, 6 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner in the state. And let's go back to Georgia. Let's have an update on here. Too close to call. Remains 73% of the estimated vote is in. Donald Trump holds a slight lead in Georgia at the moment. We cannot make a projection just yet. And another update on Arizona. Let's check back on Arizona. Remains too close to call. 75% of the estimated vote is in. Joe Biden holds a lead of 2%. We now can call Montana's race for Donald Trump. No surprise here. And another update on the Rust Belt swing state of Wisconsin. 76% in. Too close to call. Joe Biden holds a lead in Wisconsin by 2 percentage points. He takes the lead for the first time tonight in Wisconsin. And another update on the Sunbelt state of Texas. Too close to call. 80% of the expected vote is in. This race in Texas is tightening up. Joe Biden is barely leading at the moment. And an update on Nevada's race. Too close to call. 76% in. Joe Biden holds a slight lead of just 1%. We cannot make a projection just yet. Donald Trump will win Iowa's 6 electoral votes. Not much of a shocker in this state. Another update on Arizona. Remains too close to call. 78% in. Joe Biden is still holding on to his lead of 2%. And now another update on the map to 270. 189 electoral votes for Donald Trump. Joe Biden remains at 147. We now have our 11 o'clock p.m. poll closing Eastern time from the states of the western United States. But before we check on those poll closings, another update on Wisconsin. Too close to call, 82% in. It is now a tie at 48% to 48%. We cannot make a projection in Wisconsin just yet. California, incumbent President Joe Biden is projected to win California. He's going to take the state's 55 electoral votes. It should put him in the lead as of right now. Another update on the Rust Belt battleground state of Michigan. Too close to call, 88% in. Joe Biden holds a lead of just 1%. We cannot call it just yet. We can now project that Hawaii's 4 electoral votes is going to Joe Biden. No surprise here. As well as Oregon, 8 electoral votes going to Joe Biden's column. Another update on the swing state of Nevada. Too close to call, 87% in. It is currently a tie at 49%. We now can call Washington State for Joe Biden. 12 electoral votes going to Joe Biden. Another update on Texas. Donald Trump takes the lead in Texas. Too close to call, 86% in. It is looking like Texas should be called for Donald Trump anytime soon, but we cannot call it just yet. Idaho's 4 electoral votes, Donald Trump is going to win in the state. No surprise here. Another update on the map to 270. 193 for Donald Trump, and Joe Biden takes the lead for the first time tonight. 225 for Joe Biden, mainly due because of California's high electoral vote counts. We have our 1 a.m. poll closings from just one state. Alaska will go to Donald Trump. Not much of a shocker in this state. He takes its 3 electoral votes. We now have a major projection from the Sunbelt state of Texas. 40 electoral votes will be going to Donald Trump's column. Democrats failed to flip it in 2020. They hope so again in 2024, and they failed again in 2024. Donald Trump is the projected winner in the state of Texas. Donald Trump will win Texas by around 6 percentage points. 92% in. We now can call Texas's race for Donald Trump. 53.6 for Trump, 47.4 for Joe Biden. We have a major flip, the first flip tonight in the Rust Belt. Wisconsin's 10 electoral votes is projected to be called for Donald Trump. Donald Trump will win Wisconsin by under 1%, 0.4 percentage points to be exact. 98% of the estimated vote is in. First flip tonight, 50.2 for Trump, 49.8 for Joe Biden. Another update on the map to 270. Donald Trump takes back the lead, 244 for Trump, and Joe Biden is trailing Trump 226 electoral votes. We have the second flip for Donald Trump tonight out of Georgia, 16 electoral votes. This is a must-win state for Donald Trump, and he has won it. This is good news for the Trump campaign. He's going to win Georgia 16 electoral votes by a little bit over 1%, 1.2% to be exact. 99% of the estimated vote is in. 50.6 for Trump to Joe Biden's 49.4%. We have a major projection for the Biden campaign. This is a must-win for Joe Biden, and he has won it. This is major news for the Biden campaign. This is bad news for Donald Trump. Joe Biden is the projected winner of the state of Arizona's 11 electoral votes. Joe Biden will keep Arizona in Democratic control for his second election victory in Arizona in a row. Joe Biden will win Arizona by around 0.7%. 97% in. We now can call Arizona's race for Joe Biden. 50.4 for Biden to Donald Trump's 49.6%. We now can call Nevada's race for Joe Biden as well. He's going to take Nevada's 6 electoral votes. Joe Biden will win Nevada by under 1%, 0.4% to be exact. This race was extremely close. 98% of the estimated vote is in. We now can call Nevada for Joe Biden. He is narrowly going to win the state, barely by under 1%. We have a major projection in the state of Michigan. Incumbent President Joe Biden will take Michigan's 15 electoral votes. This is a must-win for the Biden campaign, and he has won it. Joe Biden is in good shape and on track to win the election. Joe Biden will win Michigan by 3 percentage points, 51.5 for Biden to Donald Trump's 48.5%. We have a major projection from the Rust Belt battleground state of Pennsylvania. Joe Biden will win Pennsylvania's 19 electoral votes. 0.6% is the margin for Joe Biden. 50.2 to Donald Trump's 49.6%. 46th President of the United States, President-elect Joe Biden will win his second and final term. He surpasses the 270 mark, getting 277 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 261. Donald Trump barely falls short. Overall, this is a very close race. This is the final map, and this is the margins of every state. You can take a look at the margins per state. And now taking a look at the winner of the popular vote, Joe Biden will win the popular vote. More Americans voted for Joe Biden overall. Taking a look at the battle for the U.S. Senate, Republicans and Mitch McConnell will flip back the U.S. Senate and GOP control. 51 seats for the GOP and 49 seats for Democrats and Chuck Schumer. Mitch McConnell will be the new Senate Minority Leader. This is the map for the U.S. Senate. Thank you everyone for watching. Stay tuned for more election nights in the future.